So at the new house, I've got some goals. No, buddy, don't touch that, please. One of them is gonna be for daycare. Now, another one would be to have a fully functional workshop that is completely portable. Dude. Now, I'm not talking about the ultimate workshop that you see online everywhere. I'm talking about having the same setup no matter where I'm working. If I'm in the garage, if I'm on site, or I'm at the shop, I want a system that I can break down and then transport with me, set up, and have the exact same workflow no matter where I am. Okay, dude, nap time. Now, phase one of this little quest that I'm on started with these guys. They're the portable miter saw wings that you've seen in other videos, but I also have free plans which are available to download on the Kreg Tools website. More on that later though. Welcome to later, because also available on the Kreg Tools website are the plans for phase two of my little wandering workshop. That sounds like a nice trademark. And that's these tabletops that I made a couple videos ago, and I've been able to test them out on a few projects around the house lately, and so far, so good. With these workbenches, they're designed so that you can get 4 work surfaces out of a single sheet of plywood. I found that pairing 2 of the tabletops together on the Kreg Workhorses makes for a perfect multi-surface workbench / assembly table. Now for the third workbench, I put that on a set of those collapsible stands, and that's been acting as a great outfeed table for my table saw. Now, is this a perfect outfeed table? No, it's not. The table on the stand sit about 1.5 inches lower than the table saw, which I'm totally okay with. Most of the time I'm working in situations where I don't have control over the elevation. I could be in a driveway on one job and a garage in the next job. So as long as it doesn't sit above the table saw and I'm able to catch longer ripped material, I think it'll be just fine. Now for my table saw, I use the DeWalt DCS7485 ? Anyways, it's the cordless one from DeWalt, and I have the corresponding stand, and this setup has been very nice. One of the easiest ways to get the most out of a job site table saw is to use what they call a saw sled, but they can be a bit bulky and transporting them is not ideal. So what I'm hoping to be the solution for that is this Kreg Precision Miter Gauge. But I'm not gonna lie, it looks like you're gonna need a PhD to put this thing together, so I'm gonna need a second.
A few moments later.
All right, that was a lot easier than it looked, and I did some test cuts on it, and so far, so good. What attracted me to the Precision Miter Gauge was the stop block. I love the idea of being able to set different angles and stops so that you can make perfect cuts every single time. Now, one thing I did notice was that there was a little bit of wobbling in the beginning. So to prevent that from happening, they give you these set screws right here, and you can adjust these so that the gauge works perfectly on whatever saw that you have. Now, Kreg did send me this, so I want to be upfront and honest about that. So I'm gonna have to give it a good test run before I can give it a full-on review. But so far it's been pretty good, so I'm hoping it can be a perfect addition to the Wandering Workshop. Now for the fourth one, my son kind of inspired me this morning, so we're gonna rip that down, and it's gonna act as like a little HQ, if you will. A spot to put your coffee, site plans, hand tools, hang out and have lunch, but it'll also act as a nice workbench for the kids when they're hanging out with me in the garage when I'm working at home. Now, I don't have a bunch of money lying around to allocate specifically to a sawhorse budget, so for the legs of this one, we're gonna have to get creative. Now, I use the DeWalt T-Stacks for most of my storage solutions, and I happen to have 10 of these boxes, which is great because 5 of them gives you a perfect working height, and 3 of them gives a perfect working height for the kids. So if I stack everything so the drawers are on the inside of the workstation, I'll still have access for my tools, plus I won't have to spend any money on a bench for the shop, which should save me a lot of curse words. Now, to attach the tops to the boxes, I'm using these little plastic feet that my buddy Eric printed for me on his 3D printer. If there's any interest in the file for these, I'll see if I can't get them and link them to download. So let me know in the comments below. But in all honesty, you don't need the plastic feet. You could probably just make your own spacers out of a block of hardwood. Then when you're all said and done, you'll have something that looks like this. Now, this might not necessarily be magazine worthy, but I got these racks for about 50 bucks each. So outside of the toolboxes, let's call it for 200 bucks, I've got a workshop that is fully functional and portable. So I'd say that this goal is officially accomplished. That, my friends, is going to do it for this week's episode. Huge shout out to Craig Tools for making this project possible. If you enjoyed the video, please do all the things that you're supposed to do when that happens. Feel free to follow me over on Instagram at RemarkableWorks. I love you all equally, and I'll see you when I see you.